So I did a video yesterday about the Forever Martyr. And I got like 70, 80 views on it, I think, about that amount. Which is not something I was expecting, honestly. So I figured I rented and with the game open, with literally like no plan, no outline, no points to be made whatsoever. So I might as well just like um actually like make an outline of what I think, um my opinions, my suggestions, so it's not just negative. Last time I talked a lot about guns and how the gunplay specifically highlighted just the general problem of the game, but this time I'll go a bit more in depth, but less in depth as much more like I'm gonna be outlining everything. Basically, I'm gonna be like pointing in the general vicinity of the problems I have with this game. I didn't spend enough time just basically like settling down, highlighting every single stat, looking like through the settings of the game and all that. So but this is from the point of view of somebody who's played the game about as much as any average person who buys a game, um plays it for a week or two, and then stops because for a reason or another, right? Um, I've bought the game when it came out. Basically, my friend sent me the trailer and I thought it was like the coolest shit ever. Um, I personally didn't struggle that much with it, like in terms of like function, like performance, because I had a 4060, which is like as desperately sad as it is to say, it is probably better than most people have. Well, now my rig's much better, but yeah, the game ran fine on the 4060, and at the same time, the first day I played it, I couldn't connect to my friend, and then the game was so buggy and laggy, and not laggy, but like buggy in terms of like flying tanks, and the AI was so ass. And anyways, I love this game. I would have refunded it if I didn't think it had a chance or didn't have like a unique thing that made it better compared to like the rest of the market. Um, I like this game and I want to see it succeed. And I feel like if I want to see it do better, I have to do something about it over just quietly yapping in my corner with my friends and complaining all the time. So I guess now since I have like 70 views on my last video, I'm a sort of influencer. My opinion's worth more than anybody else's. But on a serious note, this video will be considering like three general chapters. So the game feel, basically, or I'll be like setting the base of what the game should be feeling like, what we should be expecting out of the game, what was kind of like promised, or like what was the vision, what's the vision from what we can actually see in the game. um so the first is just outlining what the Forever Winter feels like, what it looks like, and what we're told it's supposed to be. Then the second chapter is the loop. So the current gameplay, how the game currently operates, how the game runs, in terms of economy, base building, role play, aesthetics, maps, etc., etc. So it's generally like complaining about how the game feels right now more than what the game's supposed to be. And then the third chapter is the balancing, in my opinion, suggestions, raw, pure suggestions of systems, additional systems, how I would personally design them if I was the game developer. Um, this is not in any way telling, like, you know, fundog, you guys should do exactly what I'm saying to save your game. No, this is purely like, um, how would I say? This is purely like just what I would do. Just the fact that I have to make suggestions for this system shows that it's lacking. It doesn't exist, or this part of the game should be better. Just the fact that I have to talk about this highlights a deficiency in the way fundog made this video game. Um, I gotta stop using them. We'll get started now. Okay, I had to do a little jump right there to make sure I didn't sound too stupid on the camera. Game feel. So, the game feel is outlined primarily by the media the game gives us, um, the artistic expression of the game, and like just in general, like how we're supposed to feel about it. Um, I think most of the people who are playing right now, most of them, all came from that Rilo video, the one where he goes like, "You're not that guy, buddy. You're the guy that's on top of the tank as a corpse. You're the corpse guy." And I think, um, that nailed a lot of people's attention. Not necessarily the fact that people wanted to be corpses and die all the time. People wanted to do that. They just hop on Foxhole or like some other like Hell Let Loose or some game where you're just a random soldier in a war. Um, a lot of games give you that feel that you're just another corpse to the meat grinder, like Battlefield One. So I guess most people are like the idea of like not necessarily being the corpse, but being a survivor, to have lived around those corpses, to have known people who became those corpses, or lost people who became those corpses, and to generally exist as like a survivor. So the You Are Not That Guy has had I think a large impact on the Forever Winter discourse and how discourse. Oh my God, we're on Twitter now. On the way people talk about the Forever Winter. There's this way that I guess the developers are trying to navigate the game where it's we want you to feel like you're the scavenger that's profiteering off this war, and at the same time you're not the big badass like survivor. Um, by the way, I just want to clarify: English is not my first language, so do mind like those little accent slips. Um, the dev team has to negotiate with the player because it has not established in any way a good gameplay loop. The "you're not that guy" sentiment is not felt by the player. It's described to us, shown to us, is given to us through cinematics and lore drops. But when I'm in a quest and the quest giver is like, "You just killed 5 Eurasian cyborgs," like that's pretty cool. I didn't expect you to be able to do that. You're just a scavenger, and I've killed like more than like 40 and that just that run because they keep on dropping them on top of me, and all I gotta do is hop on a little box to nuke their ability to hit me and then tap them in the head. Yeah, like I do feel like that guy. Not in a good way though. But fuck, I just realized this is the outline. All right, this is the outline. So first we'll be talking about you're not a guy, etc. Like how the game's supposed to feel to look like. Um, Second we'll be talking about the fear that you're supposed to feel in this game as an extraction shooter, like the horror in non-horror games. When I'm playing Tarkov, when am I scared? When I'm playing Hunt Showdown, fuck, I love Hunt Showdown, but I hate playing it because it is scary. Um, so the horror in games where it's not about a big monster chasing you, but it's about like the world itself being scary. Like there's a fear present, and I want to explore like why that fear exists in other games and why it's not present in the Forever Winter. And finally, aesthetics of the game. Um, this is generally like a pet peeve, but it touches on the game feel. Popular character fetches dev attention. Um, Scav girl, my nemesis, my worst enemy. Um, Primarily like how being weird looking is not an enticing or cool character trait. I don't like. I don't want to play old man. I don't relate to him because I'm not old, and at the same time he just doesn't look like I want to play him. He looks like the one of those NPCs that just stick around the base. So it's an exploration of the aesthetics and how that plays into the feel, and deeper in the video will be when most people started. I'm saying most people because I'm speaking about myself and a lot of the friends and people I know who play this game. When they kicked off the game, when they purchased the game, it was because of that Rilo video. Oh my God, I'm not even sure if it's Rilo the name. But if it's because of that one video, and I'm pretty sure we all know the one where he's got that EOD European face mask, and it's like you are not that guy. Most people are attracted to this idea where you don't want to be the chess piece being moved in the war zone, but you want to be a part of the war zone, um, as sort of collateral damage or existing around it. And most people find that attractive for different reasons, whether it's like people like to feel scared, so it's sort of observation like fear. So like it's sort of horror game at times because when you're rolling around trying to loot shit, like it's scary. Um, yeah. So some people find that aspect scary and they like the adrenaline of being scared. Other people like playing This War of Mine. I don't know if you guys know it's game heavily inspired by the Bosnian genocide. So when the Serbs showed up in Bosnia and started killing civilians left and right, and had snipers and apartment towers shooting civilians, and just like a horrible, horrible place to be. But some people like they want to know about the struggles of people in the middle of that war zone. Other people like to be profiteers. They like the power fantasy of like having a gun and terrorizing other people in the middle of an apocalypse zone, right? They don't just want to be broke all the time. Sometimes the power fantasy doesn't come from being in a giant mech, but it's from watching the giant mech just like pulverize a European squad and then going right behind and then putting a gun up to like those European people and then going like, give me this, give me that. I'm so evil, right? So each person who purchases this game does it for a very unique and like personal type of reason, and it's always to survive in the middle of a war bigger than yourself. Which is a problem when this war doesn't feel like the game doesn't feel like there's a war bigger than yourself going on. The game's an exploration in mechanical violence of modern warfare with its extremes, drones, mechs, big guns, um, as industrial mechanical violence driven up to a T. It's modern warfare, but multiplied by 100. I feel like this game exemplifies it very well. The output, artistic work done by the dev team is ridiculously good, and in that sense, all we can do is just appreciate it for what it is. Um, but there's some aspects of that mechanical violence that can be expanded into and observed even better and worked with, which I just find liking in this game. It's an observation of the madness of conflict, the inherent nonsensical and often ridiculous shapes it takes. Um, I'm gonna say this now because I'm at this point I think most of you clicked away if you started this video, but if you're still here and you're listening, this game is very much fashioned towards Mad God. Not fashioned towards it, but there's a clear inspiration in that movie Mad God. I don't know if you watched it. It's a real pain to watch it, but do try to find a streaming service if you've never watched it and give it a shot. It is a mesmerizingly captivating movie, but that's all it is. When I watched Met God, I remember it was just I was looking at the movie. I wasn't really watching it, right? It was a beautiful observation of like what kind of art somebody can put out in a stop motion movie, and sometimes what it can mean, but it was much more technical and crazy and farcical. It's clear that the devs of the for fundog want to take inspiration from that. They want to take inspiration at that nonsensical, farcical. Nothing needs to really make sense because everybody who was there to make it make sense disappeared. The government's gone, and it's all AIs left to wage this eternal war that we'll never know the end of. Um, it's that world from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream if humans were still around kicking, right? It's vengeful, angry AIs. So new machinery constructed makes no sense. You know, corpse things and all that. It's Mad God made into like marrying like Modern Warfare. And I just, me personally, if there's something you've got to hear from me, is that I wish this game was a bit less Mad God and a bit more Apocalypse Now. I don't know if you've watched Apocalypse Now, but the Dolong Bridge scene is perhaps the most fascinating, captivating, thematically capable and powerful scene regarding any war media. In the same movie, you have the Ride of the Valkyrie, like Kilgore. It is those are surely really important culturally for like most movie fans. But that Dolong Bridge, the circus music that plays as they march through like this haze of a battlefield of people weeping and moaning in pain, and they're like all high, and at one point the two main characters, I forgot the name now, the two main characters step into a trench and they're like, what's going on? And like nobody knows anything. And the guy, go look up the Dolong Bridge scene on YouTube. They don't know anything about what's going on. They're just shooting. They just know there's an enemy around, so they're shooting. It doesn't make any sense. And at one point, like the main character speaks to that like guy they meet in the trench, and they're like, well, where's the commander? And the guy goes, well, aren't you the commander? And it's a striking scene because unlike Mad God, this the nonsensical and often ridiculous shape war takes, so to how much it loses in terms of sense and understanding is displayed so well compared to just putting corpses on tanks, right? It's you feel it. You feel that war doesn't make sense when you watch, like you feel that war is insanity when you watch Apocalypse Now, and you don't feel it when you watch Mad God. Is what I'm saying, and I think this difference is what dictates the Forever Winter and the problems with it. So it's also a look at the human condition, hope and evil. Water thieves are pretty mean. They'll run in your base, kill your people, take your water. But you can't be mean in the game. You can only like loot and do quests for good people, or like kill Europeans. Which I guess since you're born in the United States is kind of mean because you're kind of being a traitor, I guess. Um, it's not a good. It's supposed to be a look at the human condition and the apocalypse survival. You see it in the trailer. Say like the whole save her, and then it's the European exopilot. You don't save the European exopilot just because it's a girl and it's cute and it's funny. You save it because it's a representation of the human condition, that even if it's a mech pilot that's been shooting at you, that's been mean to you, they're in a moment of weakness, and you understand that they might have not wanted to be there. They might have not been in their right mind, and so you spare them and you pick them up and put them in your team, and that's why it works. But there's the lack of that depth in the game. The vision in this game is also dominated by awesome set pieces. It's a double-edged sword. The game looks insanely cool when it works. When people have good performance, when they can play it on high settings. I played it on extremely high settings, and it looks fantastically good. There's I can't complain about the way the game looks. It's so empty that there's these awesome set pieces just don't work. Fundog wants us to feel like, I guess I don't really know. The what I'm gonna highlight throughout this video is that there's lack of gameplay depth, and in consequence I don't really know what they want me to feel when I don't know how the game's supposed to play, or why the game feels so devoid and empty at all times, when I don't have any reason to go back looting, when everything is so empty and dead. So Fundog, I guess, wants us to feel like the scavenger, because if it told us that we wanted, like we were the scavengers, not because they've made us feel like that. And this is a point I'm going to raise later. Personally, my opinion is that I like RPGs where I can self-insert and be the super powerful guy, but being a random ass soldier or a random ass member of a bigger thing is always some of the most fun I've had in video games. Some of the most fun I've had in Hell Let Loose. as being a squad leader with my five little guys, and we do a flank, and we're so small, but we still have an impact on the game. But the loss isn't on us, or have playing Helldivers being one amongst uncountable millions that die on Malevelon Creek or on Earth. These are always great games, dominated by great gameplay feel. The vision of being something small in the bigger set piece always works. You'll always have people that want to buy a game like that, that want to play a game, that want to experience an art piece like that. I just don't think the vision is well realized in this game. At least for the almost year long, almost year long, the development cycle we've seen. So fear, stress, and how to keep a player's eyes glued on the screen. Different games do it different ways. There's a lack of depth in the way the Forever Winter does it, but most games do it first either through storyline and character. The Last of Us does it through the relationship you develop between Ellie and I forgot his name, the boomer guy. So you get this relationship going, and it makes you care about them. So at the end, when you have to decide whether to sacrifice Ellie or not, well, you decide not to, because the loss is the fear of losing that person, that relationship is too much, because you've developed it, you care about that person. Same thing goes for the Walking Dead games, the Telltale ones, where you're there, and the care you have for those characters, the relationships you develop, makes it so every time there's a zombie on screen, every time there's a threat to those characters, you're scared. Every time there's a new character that might put them in danger, you grow to hate those characters. You grow to despise them because they put those people you care about in danger. Same thing goes for Red Dead Redemption 2. People care about, in general, like, people are afraid for those characters when they play the game because they care about them. In Red Dead Redemption 2, it's visible when Arthur learns that he has that one disease, lumbago. I forgot the name of it. If you look up on YouTube Red Dead Redemption 2 streamer reactions, Arthur is sick, you will see people crying, people yelling, people being angry, people having a genuine emotional reaction to that information. And what it shows is that people aren't necessarily afraid always of dying because, hey, I don't want to lose my loot, I don't want to lose this. They care about, most people care about the other people, and when those people are displayed in interesting ways and you have time to grow with them, you get to like them, you get to be scared for them. The second option is to do it in a mechanical way. Tarkov does it through equipment and loot. You'll get your hands on a gun or a scope or a specific thing, key, lockbox, that if you die on your way to extracting it, you might not see for the next 20, 30, 50 hours. That fear that you get mechanically is addicted for a lot of people. It's pumping adrenaline in you, giving you that need to like really nail this one extraction, or else like dozens of hours, or that one crazy opportunity slips away. Darkest Dungeon applies that fear with your characters. Mechanically, your characters like get XP, grow, get like when you send them through dungeons, they can either live or die, and if you died, you lost somebody who had a lot of experience, had good equipment, somebody who really carried your team. Then that fear of losing them is heavy. It makes you think a lot before you send them. They have a lot of systems, like the whole bar system to drink your worries away. That makes it really interesting. It's just for that roster of characters. Might be a good inspiration later on the line for Everwinter, but you care about your characters mechanically because they're worth something. They get something. You get an experience through them, and you get to know them. You can rename them, you can change their style, etc., etc. But for the most part, you like them importantly because mechanically they're important. Hunt Showdown does your fear purely through. It does a good mix between equipment and loot and character. If you find some great gun, You want to extract with it. You don't want to lose it. If you've been extracting with the same character and leveling it up, at one point you can um prestige that character and get even more XP that lines up with a longer XP bar. If you've played Hunt Showdown, you can understand what I mean. But surviving as a character doesn't just help your character; it helps you as a player in the general Hunt Showdown universe. So, or general Hunt Showdown gameplay. So you get higher levels in Hunt Showdown itself, which lets you unlock stuff, guns, weapons, things that you don't need to loot anymore. You can just buy off the shop because you've extracted and then prestige that unique character. That fear is present mechanically. Forever in Winter as a game just doesn't have either storyline character or mechanical fears. I don't care about the player I play. I don't care about the scav I play. I don't care about the loot he has on him. If I die, I'm just annoyed. It's yeah. There's no fear whatsoever in this game. The biggest fear is because something looks big and scary, and that's a horror game fear, and you don't want that in the video game. That doesn't advertise itself as a horror game primarily. You can have horror aspects in the video game that doesn't advertise itself as a horror game. But again, there's just other ways, better ways to do it that you're scared for your character, for his loot, for the runs you take that don't involve having a big scary monster. So there's a lack of character presence. Community driven attachment to the characters means that, you know, people like Scav Girl because people make memes there on the Reddit. People like Lordas because people make memes 500 cigarettes of him on Reddit. People like this and that because it's community driven. I have no reason, if it wasn't for the community, to like or focus a specific certain character. I think Lordas is probably the only character I care about in the entire game because it actually speaks to me. When you give him those cigarettes, he tells you about the lore, tells you about the world, tells you about how he grew up, tells you about how much he doesn't remember ever since they put him in the Orgamech. So, that sense, characters don't exist in that storyline fear. Just you don't care about the storyline fear. You don't care about those. You don't care about the characters, so you're not afraid for them. You don't care about the mechanics. There's just no gameplay loop. Just no fear or losing equipment. There's no real losses. They're just setbacks. Dying is annoying. If I die, that just means if I don't. To me, every time I die in this game, it's like I go back to the gun I had. Fuck, I don't have this specific attachment anymore. That's annoying. This is generally like all I can think of when I do lose a character in this game. Or like, oh, I don't have like this specific helmet that I like on Mask Man. I have the shovel helmet, which I don't like. Well, fuck. I guess I just gotta throw myself in there, kill myself again. So there's no fear for your base, no fear for the scavengers. Dying is annoying, and generally like this fear that should be present in the game, that gameplay fear just doesn't exist. And I'm gonna explore deeper and why in terms of mechanics, later on through the second chapter. So, aesthetics, Riz versus harassment. Scaver Girl skin is probably the cooler skin. Coolest character you can play in the game right now. It's a reason why almost everyone either plays her or has bought the skin pack. I want to highlight the fact that Fundog does not have to make hot girls for the game to sell or DLC packs to sell. They just have to make cool characters. And I think that's the most important part to remember. I forgot the heavy guys. The Bagman's DLC skin is cool, and I commend the dev team for putting their vision in the game. But compare Shaman and Bagman to Scav Girl, and they do not have bags, like, you know, pouches, bags, like a survival suit. Like she has like a wetsuit. They don't have like cool hair. Shaman is like wearing like fucking wheat, like what you make flour of. Like as a like I understand that it's like the dry wheat that Um, you use a stuffing or like for rooftops, if I'm not mistaken, like if you think about African homes, like tribal homes, it's that kind of same material and it's rough and it's hydro resistant, but you're in the middle of like broken down LA. Like you couldn't have made them more, I don't know, more pouches, more kind of like Scab Girl, kind of. We shouldn't always aim to be like Scab, but we know that Scab Girl works for a reason, and we do. Not just, I think, me personally, not just because it's a girl and she looks fine as hell, but it probably because it's got pouches. It looks like a survivor. It looks like a runner in the apocalypse. It looks like somebody that does exist in the world, and I think that's what we can learn. Being butt fuck ugly isn't cool. It doesn't make me want to play the character. It's not an interesting artistic output or interesting artistic like deep dive. Bagman's DLC skin being a bald dude with a fucking basketball jersey is not gonna make me want to play him. Like not at all. And so again, it's looking whether you want this game to be a art book or a game. Do you want me to play this character or do you want me to go, wow, fundog, you really like it's really cool that you stuck to your like artistic rendition, artistic like wish for this game. That's cool. I'm just gonna look at this from afar and not touch it because I just don't personally like it. So in reality, like you don't characters don't have all to be hot. They don't all have to be like sharp chin or fat ass or big everything. They just have to look interesting, right? And like my biggest example is that I hate Maskman's coat. I don't like the fact that he looks like a cylinder. Um, he just like looks like a cylinder with a little like head on top because of his coat and how heavy and chubby he looks. I just think if I was a survivor, I'd be trying to make my outline more look like trash, more like there'd be more pouches on my coat if I did have a coat. There'd be more like maybe webbing, netting. But I like him a lot because of one specific helmet. It's the one with two big googly eyes on him because it has like a webbing on the back that has like a baby doll on it, and with the googly eyes, it genuinely like fits the Forever Winter. It makes me think this is a character who has this military helmet and who customized it because he's been through it. He's been through hell, and it looks cool, and it's unique, and it's interesting. It's got that military survivor vibe. It's got that mix of like scavenger and like I got my hands on military gear and turned it into something scav. I don't look like a bald dude who shouldn't be in this area. I look like an actual survivor. I look like what people would actually look like if they were in this situation. And it's why I like him so much. It's why I like that model. I did show off in the last video that I had a mod on, but when I don't have that mod going, this is like I actively kill my mask man if I don't have that helmet because I like it. The feel of the characters, the feel that they're heavy, that they like animation is a pet peeve, and I'll go back on it at the end towards like the technical suggestions. But I want you to open the game right now. If you're watching this video, open the game and go to Gunhead and run a bit with him and watch his ass jiggle. Watch his ass jiggle like he's a Kardashian. It's ridiculous. It's like, what are we doing here? It's like you announced that character so long ago. I think it was out in the second monthly update, maybe third after the game released, and not a touch on the way he walks. And I'm like, other games, I'm sure there's a way to make your robot look fragile, but don't make his ass shake like he's got a robotic BBL like that. Like you're trying to make non-existent jiggle physics exist. Like animation is a big part of this game, and I feel like it is the most important part that fucks with the cognitive dissonance in this game. But aesthetics, the field. It is part of the field, and I think in general we can learn from what fundog have done up to now. So now we'll get in the meat of the subject, the actual gameplay loop. Um, this is an outline of what I'll talk about. So in terms of exploration maps, I feel like fundog is shooting itself in the leg. The maps are too small for the ones that are not so the settled done maps are too small. You only really have a couple points of interest. Quest and looting don't push you really to do anything. There's no urgency. I want this gun from this quest, so I'll do this quest. There's no need to be doing quests. I could literally just do this entire game playing kill 5 Eurasian cyborg quests, and I could finish the game like that with no problem. The base exists in the state of limbo as a trade hub. It's not indicative of what a group of survivors be doing throughout the apocalypse. The economy doesn't exist. You sell to buy and buy equipment so you can better loot, like rigs and backpacks, and you loot what you you loot to sell, and the prices never change, so you can sell 1,000 times the same thing for a high price, and you'll always be making a profit. Rigs, backpacks, carry weight, volume versus weight. The game, your rig is a black hole. It just exists as a black hole. It just sucks in everything you grab on. At that point, like I'm honest with you, whenever I grab the pack mule, I don't even bother checking what I'm looting. I just press carry all. I kill like 40 guys, carry all that they have on them, and then head on over to extract. And I make like 100, 200k every time. It's, yeah. There's no real damage system. It's always health pools, just health pools, just health pools. Only difference between Forever Winter and the Division 1 is the health bar. That's on top of the heads. Yet this game has a health bar. You just can't see it. Like the damage doesn't matter in terms of armor. Caliber doesn't really matter. It's more about the gun itself. The bullets don't really matter. Anti-material rifle does 800 damage and grenade launcher does 1,000 damage without understanding why one does one specific type of damage over the other. If I want to destroy a vehicle, I use the NTW-20. If I want to destroy like a group of infantry, I use a grenade launcher. But they functionally almost feel like the same, apart from maybe a bit of splash damage, which makes the grenade launchers just better than anti-tank rifles. And finally, like the gameplay loop is just non-existent. You run in there, you grab shit, and you sell it, and it is genuinely depressing how empty it is. There's just nothing in this game to do. Just nothing in this game to like loop into. There's no. It's a loop of boredom in a sense. So I guess there is a loop, and it's just boredom. It's just boredom. After 3 runs, you'll only be playing this game to explore the maps and not to play the game. I don't think anybody I've ever met said, hop on Forever Winter. I really like the way they do the weight system. I really like the way I've heard people tell me, hop on, I prefer Tarkov over this, I prefer Hood Showdown over this, because they have this. And the gameplay. I've never heard anybody mention Forever Winter about any gameplay thing. If I ever hear Forever Winter mentioned, it's over the art style, which is depressing. As a video game, it just is the worst ever. So, let's start with exploration maps. The 10 to 20 hour triangle that I mentioned in my last video. So, if you have your game open, whatever, it's the first map, then Elephant Mausoleum, and Ash and Mesa. Those 3 maps and the 2 maps in between, which are Scrapyard Nexus and Mech Trenches, are the triangle of 10 to 20 hours. The players who have 10 to 20 hours in this game will be playing those maps. They'll be getting the water from the first and second and third map, and then using that water to enter the 2 in the middle, so Mech Trenches and Scrapyard Nexus. The fact that there's 4 more maps next to it that are all in progress is indicative that fundog just doesn't have their priorities like set on the maps, pretty much on the maps that actually welcome the character, actually welcome the new players and keep that player retention going. In my opinion, games should just double the map sizes, not horizontally, but vertically. Like just add buildings, add subterranean sections, depth and meaning to every map, alternatives. Um, the keyword here is like across every map is to have more choices, not better choices. I'll mention it later in my suggestions, but for example, Ashen Mesa should have like a tunnel section under the big desert, like a series of bunkers. You once used by Europe or some, where like you can choose to either walk the desert at the top and risk being seen by a shitload of enemies, or you could go into tunnels underneath after finding them and fighting your way through a lot of enemies, but the tunnels make it so you have the upper hand. It's less about a bunch of numbers. It's more about who's got the better equipment, who can hide in the shadows of the tunnels and hangars and like bunkers better. So exploration pretty much is a suggestion with these games, and it's caused by mostly the gameplay and not just necessarily the map design, but also the map design. You can perfectly survive in this game, going from entrance to extract, only killing people and looting them. If you don't care about the quests, if you don't care about the economy, you can just grab Scar Itch once you level up the 8-round magazine and go from point A to point B, killing people like I do, put everything on the big backpack, extract. Nothing changes. The game's just over at that point. It's frustrating that I can just say this, but that's pretty much all the game is to me at times. When I don't force myself to do the quests, when I don't force myself to explore, all I can do is load up the best gun, kill people, loot them, and then extract with them. Navigation is Dowder Horrid, and Kardashian head. Your gun head just jiggles all the place. Movement doesn't feel good. Um, there's one thing AAA devs or game devs do is oftentimes the animation is much better. And I feel like something I gotta highlight is that I heard on the Discord that they only had one guy on the technical animation aspects, and not sure if it's true, if it's just like a wild theory. But if on that 30 people dev team there really is just one guy doing the animations, I can first see it. It's very visible. Enemies and mechs and everything feels sluggish and slides around and barely looks presentable. The characters especially. And two, this is genuinely ridiculous that you only have one guy on the animation team. Hire somebody. This game has definitely made enough money to hire somebody at this point. But we'll get on that towards the suggestions at the end of the end of the video. Quests, getting in the map, and the urgency. There's no real reason to press the join hop in map button. There's a lack of urgency. I'm never missing on anything. I have all the ammo I want, all the loot I want. I'm doing quests purely like just cause they're there, and I want to have somebody to talk to. It's very depressing. But when I'm playing the game, I want to have somebody to talk to in the game. Somebody that goes, "Wow, you have an impact in this world," or like you exist. Cool. Quests mechanically don't make sense. Killing 5 Eurasian cyborgs should get the attention of European soldiers, because you're just a scav and you start off with a surplus rifle. But once you do that, coming back to them and doing the same quest again, they are always less surprised, even though like you change kit. They never go like, "Oh well, I expect that from you," but at the same time, the game never feels so deep in terms of gameplay, so dangerous, so fear-inducing that when you do kill 5 Eurasian cyborgs, you're like, "Holy shit, I did it!" Those guys have to be proud of me or like impressed by me. You just don't give a fuck. You just don't care, and it's just me personally, when I kill a bunch of Eurasian characters for a quest and they go, "Well, I'll have to keep my eye on you. You look like a great killer. You might just help Europa." I'm like, sure. After I killed those 5 guys, I killed like 3 dozen more because they were on my way to the extract. Like, there's this dissonance in the way quests work and the way we engage with the world, and it's, yeah. There's a lack of interactivity with when on a map. You can't talk or interact with any NPCs, which is, I mean, personally, it'd be one of my suggestions. Again, one of the things I'd like to do. Um, I feel like if you're facing a lone soldier, you could ask him to surrender. You could like ask for information. There should be outposts on the map of other scavengers that like you could trade for information. Hey, it would be a perfect if you got a new player that never that doesn't want to look up in the like wiki, where can I get the picture from the Memento Mori quest? You can go talk to an outpost with a NPC in there, and go. The guy will go, well, I heard that in this specific building, there used to be a lot of people there. You might find loot there. Ha ha ha. Nerd emoji. And then the beginner can go, okay, so this, he pointed in this direction, told me between this and that, there will be that building. I'll go there. I'll go complete the quest. That's interactivity that in the map doesn't exist, in quests doesn't exist, um, and it's just a general shame. I feel like quests are as a tool for emotional world building. I think I knew I liked The Witcher 3 when I thought I was just getting in the side quest with the whole Witches of the Swamp thing. And I guess it kind of was a side quest. I don't even remember if you need to do the Witches of the Swamp quest line for you to complete the game. It's just like one of those things to learn that other guy's daughter has problems, etc., etc. That's why like he uh he took Siri in as his daughter, like as a sort of surrogate daughter. The Witcher 3 just knocks it out of the park with the quest, and it's a different type of game. And of course, we got to compare it to other extraction shooters. But I just feel like if you compare yourself to Tarkov and what you should be doing, well, like Tarkov as the best way to play a game, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. I think you should take examples from some of the best RPGs or quests in the gaming scene and find a way to implement something as impressive, as consequential, and that means as much for players. So, yeah, just the world lacks interactivity in the quests, as in and the method to interact with the world just isn't there. It doesn't exist. It doesn't work. The base, your people, your clan. So there's a lack of connection with NPCs in the base. I don't know who the hell those bums are. When they made the water change update, and they put in the trailer, they killed a bunch of NPCs to say like, oh well, look, now that we kill all of those like innocents, we don't need to consume as much water, and it's supposed to be like this, so like grim. You feel bad about it, but I just don't know these guys. I don't care. I don't know these bums, man. They don't do shit for me. I don't know them. I don't know their names. I don't know why they're there. Um, there's possibility for making something great. You could have your base as a haven for war criminals, religious mecha fundamentalists, like the robot religious guys, dudes who are trying to bring back the old world. Think a New Republic from Fallout. Having access to like a menu or like some way to talk to the NPCs on your base, figure out who they want, who they are, what they want, just could help tremendously in terms of role playing and adding depth to that base. There's also a lack of urgency when it comes to food and water. Getting rid of the time of water that went on IRL made sense, and an alternative. There needs to be an alternative to be found to it. There's less water means less people, maybe higher prices. If you got less people, you got less looters, or it plays into that idea that NPCs need to have a reason to be there, and water necessarily means people. There's water, there's people. If you have high water, then your base should exist consequentially. Maybe have high rank NPCs that you can hire for water. So I want to get this mercenary that goes on a timed looting mission to bring me this specific type of ammo, and he's sure to bring me a lot of that type of ammo if I pay him in water and food. or in specific ways. How about a quest where you gotta this guy wants to bring his family into the base, so you gotta escort a family or something like that. It just interactivity, food, water. There's no urgency. There's no stress regarding your base. It's just a hub. It's just a trade hub, and you exist like it just it's there. It's another map. It's just there. Base building, not like Fallout 4, but just making that base yours. It's making your home, adding like that mecha praying altar. So I think shows the dev team that people like those things. They like to have those things that make home cozy and comfortable. And it's crazy to me that all we have in that sense is a dog den and the praying altar, and that's it. There's opportunity for a lot more. And finally, like in terms of base mechanics, there's no the base rating NPCs. First of all, there's the water thieves that come to you if you have the automatic water thing. Which why would you? I don't even bother. I just go grab water on the first map because there's always water there. And if I want more, I'll hop on Bagman and get more water. That's it. This just, but yeah, I'm decrying that kind of like uselessness, that like a fear that comes with the water thieves. If they want to take my water, go ahead. If they want to take my loot, sure, I'll just go kill 40 guys and escape with enough to pay myself back threefold. I think we should also be able to like rate NPC bases, but that comes in the suggestion part. But I feel like the lack of possibility to attack other NPCs, scavs, um, just kind of is depressing. And yeah, the economy in this game is very reminiscent of just like a random trader from Fallout, in a sense that prices never change depending on who's winning. But not, I mean, even Fallout has deeper depths. I feel like in economy in this game you got like a one trader perfection, and that's supposed to mean depth or like versatility or but it doesn't mean anything. You can just it doesn't change anything. Whoever's winning on the big map doesn't impact who's making money. There's no trade routes. Um, I was going to suggest maybe drop zone maps that you have to mess with to open trade routes, reduce prices on items, fight over with NPCs over trade routes. But what I'm trying to say is that Grillo Grillo's like to me Grillo's like Amazon. I press buy and he drops a Scar H directly in my inventory. He doesn't exist in the world. He doesn't have a base in the world. Consequentially, I don't need to maintain a trade route open with him. Consequence, his prices never change. He's never impacted by the world changing. In the forever winter where you're supposed to be in the middle of this big war and shit changes without you having a say in it, you oddly enough have a say that the prices only change if the guy likes you or not. So you can change entirely how the game plays just by selling stuff to a trader you like more than like another. So nothing is scarce. Abundance breeds laziness. I don't need to think about who I attack. I need to think about what I'm doing. I'm just never broke. Ever since I got the 20 round mag on my Scar H, I've just been running in there, massacring people, extracting like 100k, 200k's worth of equipment. So everything's static, nothing changes. Price control, no apocalyptic, everyone for themselves. It's you're not in a war, you're just in a game, and a poorly made game at that. You're never trading with guys that. One of the thing, okay, some of you might think it is corny, but I do like playing a game called Redem. It's kind of like role play within Red Dead Redemption. So where you get them uh don't them weird like random weirdos and roleplay cowboy folks. But one of the things it does well is that it's a purely player driven economy on a lot of the servers, meaning you get to see that change depending on how many businesses are around, how many people work, how many people are actually playing the game. I'm not saying that Forever Winter needs to have a fully developed fucking economic system right now or tomorrow. I'm just saying that is fundamentally non-existent. I just fundamentally you have an Excel spreadsheet where this is worth that, and you press left click to buy it, and you lower the prices by selling, and that's it. There's no there's no depth to it. There's no the Grillo doesn't exist in the game. Aramaki doesn't exist in the game. None of these guys exist in the game. They are purely like just they're just there. They're they're a picture. They're a square picture on my trading hub. And since I'm never broke, since I'm never have a scarcity of things, I have actually a shitload of loot in my inventory that I never sell, just because I can't be asked to sell it because I don't care about the number going higher. Because I don't need to buy anything because nothing is scarce. It's a loop. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy of I don't care about the gameplay or the economy. It doesn't keep me pulled in. Doesn't keep me interested in the game. Rigs, backpacks, ammunition, and magazines. I grabbed the saw. I said that in the last video I made. I grabbed the saw, 300 round magazine, grab 300 rounds of 5.56. I can go on any map without any problem. One of the biggest meta right now is 9x19, where it's so small and packs so much ammunition that if you grab Scav Girl, you can still get away with like hundreds of rounds of ammunition because weight, volume doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything. Backpacks, if you get them in a certain size, just don't impact how much. They don't impact how your game plays. So it's always better to carry 10 boxes of 50 caliber with the biggest rig than to really think about your kit. You're never thinking your kit through. I don't care about bringing grenades. I don't care about bringing that much advanced healthcare kits because I know every time I'll get in a fight, I'll just mag dump my 50 caliber Scar H and just get away with it. Ammunition is always perfect. Always the same price for the caliber. No depth in ammo types, ammo quality. If I'm buying every time the shop restocks 50 caliber because I'm expending it like a fucking monkey, just left click all the time, Grillo doesn't make it a higher price because he knows I'll be buying it. The game doesn't force me to change or be. There's no reaction to me existing, basically. Again, like a depth. Every time I have this video, if you're still watching, half this video is just me citing an example of just the game not existing. Just the game isn't there. You're exploring like maps, but the game doesn't exist. There's no depth to the game. I'm There's no ammo types. There's like a few ammo types. There's like cryo ammo. I remember you can buy. Maybe EMP ammo. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can just get another ammo type since every enemy is a health pool. I can just melt them with a bunch of bullets and be over with it. There's no difference in ammo quality. Any ammo I loot on any guy in the middle of the apocalypse, no matter if he was the nastiest scav, the filthiest European guy, a fucking cyborgs don't have ammo, but like a Euroscan, like bio weird, like flesh thing, always has perfect ammo that will never have your gun stop or fucking explode on you or anything. The ammo is always perfect. You always loot a shitload of it. You always buy a lot of it. This game is fundamentally broken when it comes to the gameplay combat loop. I go deeper into it in the other video, even if it is a shittier quality. It's in a lengthy 1 hour rant. It is just that. There's no durability on weapons, magazines, suppressors. It's infuriating. I don't know. Just add a health bar. If you're gonna just make everything a health bar, add a health bar to those things. I went into depth how it could work and to change the game in the other video again. But in the suggestion section, I'll go again in depth and explain it to you. Guns, it's just asset store guns. Like, like I spent an hour just yapping about that. I'm not gonna go into it again. This is fucking depressing. Like, thank you for making a cool Euroskin commander. Couldn't the guy that made that commander been modeling a cooler like AK or a better M4 or more modifications for the MG34? It's cool that I get to fight the Euroskin commander. I get to fight him with the same weapons with no change whatsoever to the weaponry as the first month of the game. As far as I know, no new guns. Apart from the railgun. No new guns, no new gun modifications. Same tool set as the very first day I opened this game. Apart from maybe one or two additions. And then the fact that I don't know if they added something just shows. To go back on rigs. Rigs are made for popular characters. Scav Girl with her cool skin gets her own unique like backpack. I guess like since Bagman has this unique backpack rig that's bigger than anything else, counterbalances. I don't care. I think every character should have to like. I think Scav Girl should be able to wear any rig she wants. I think depth should be in the consequences and the choices you make with your kit. That's it. That's I don't want like that loot. I'm gonna speak about it later, but looter shooter fantasy aspects of this game, just fantastical limitations on stuff that you only see in the looter shooter, just decries that this game has not an experienced technical team that has sat down with an Excel spreadsheet and really discussed how this gameplay of the game was gonna go. So finally, I think we're about 15 minutes, almost an hour in. The third chapter, the balance, my suggestions how to make the game better, or with the points I touched in general, like what I just mentioned, everything that was wrong, what I'd personally do to make this a bit better. I'd like to clarify two things. This game needs a fundamental rework in almost every aspect of its gameplay to even hope to release. People tell me like sometimes I'm on Discord and I hear, oh, by next Christmas they'll have enough content, I'm sure, to warrant a full release, and I'm just shocked by that, utterly shocked. The game doesn't have an economy. The game doesn't have good quests. The game doesn't have good like no character customization, no equipment customization, no like equipment customization. No, you get to put on you get to put on scopes on your guns, and that is the extent at which this game allows you to specialize your gameplay. That's you just get to make your gun better, and then you get to pick how much ammo goes in your backpack. And then if you want to prestige, you get extra HP. Oh my god, that's it. That's just the gameplay. That's literally all the gameplay. Anyways, suggestions. How to make a world be scarce and not look scarce. Damage systems, armor, how to limit health pools, weight, carry weight, volume, rigs, how to make it work, map changes, having better maps, so good maps is better than more maps that are linear. Linear maps is gonna kill for Everwinter because it'll make everybody realize this game is nothing more but an art book. Base building, NPCs, role playing. Well, I'll go deeper in base building. I don't mean like Fallout 4. I want to put a wall here, but I'll explain it a bit later. Aesthetics, customization, looks, relatability to a character. Everyone loves playing Barbie, and I'll go into the deeper explanation that men love playing Barbie. Whether you want it or not, men love to customize their drip, their clothes, especially in war games. And I can't believe Fundog, who love making cool uniforms, cool helmets, don't even understand that. Finally, as a sort of conclusion, as more as a message, I'm gonna go over like what fundog is really telling us when they're making this game. And the fact is, I love this game. I love fundog. But when Rilo made that video, that first video, and said this game is made by artists that were done dirty by the AAA industry, it feels like it. It feels like you guys have not bothered to hire one guy and to open an Excel spreadsheet, one guy to get in the coding side of the game. It took you until June to fix the performance without adding that much more to the game, where it felt like people finally wanted to actually play the game. Finally, like people with 3080s can now run the game on low 3080, which is like I think a 2018 graphics card. 2018, 2020. It's not. It's 5 years. Oh, 5 years. No, it's 7 years. It's a long time, but it's not that long. I want to talk about, especially in that last part, what early access means and what Fundog owes to the players when it doesn't release a game fully, but it does so in early access. Economy, scarcity, such. I think there should be currencies for different factions, trade routes and hubs, map-based scav groups that like scavs on the map that you could trade with, trade on the field, booby trap loot that would fit in with the world building, and an economy based on post industrialism, meaning when you grab highly developed things that are now useless and you break them down to loot, like hopefully get a piece of that thing intact. If you go into like the global south, countries like India and stuff, you have these giant trash fields, and people like get computers that were thrown in the trash from them, and they collect the gold out of those computers, out of the computer chips, and then sell back the gold to other people, right? In that sense, this is what a portion of the economy should be. It should never be about, I opened this box and I found like 6 units of gunpowder that will let me construct bullets. It's that the game should be, I killed a European soldier. I yanked the machinery that was in his helmet that made the night vision goggles. I took the ammunition in his magazine, the 50 caliber, and I took his fucking pants for the fabric, and I'm gonna tear the pants to make bandages. I'm gonna use the circuitry, the night vision goggles, to make like explosives, and I'm gonna use the 50 caliber, since they're such big bullets. I'm gonna use the gunpowder, since there's so much in those rounds, to make a bunch of 5.56 bullets. So if you're following me now, if you're sticking with me with my explanation, the world should revolve around actually looting, not opening fucking things and hoping for something. When you kill a soldier, a menu should open. You scan for what he got on him, and he'll have a bunch of shit that you could probably use: night vision goggles, armor, tech stuff, cameras, all that stuff. And you'll never be thinking, I want to wear what that European guy had. You'll be thinking, I need to break down that specific part of his equipment so I can make this that is more useful to me. That, as a gameplay loop, as a post-industrialist, as a scavenger turning equipment into new equipment, that transformative gameplay is what I believe the Forever Winter should be circling around. You should be able to raid NPCs. Scav points of interest should be a possibility. There should be like a game mode as a fun side game mode for people discovering the game. Maybe in a demo where you're like a rat, like in Tarkov, and all you do is respawn in tunnels where there's like procedurally generated bases. and you loot those AI bases, those NPC. You kill like innocent scav AIs, and then you loot those bases for water or whatever you can get your hands on before more scavs get on your ass, and then that hurts your scav reputation, or etc. etc. There needs to be durability metrics on weapons, suppressors, and rigs. Put those weapons, suppressors, and rigs on your backpack. I'll explain it in the other video. If I have a suppressor that has a set amount of health and I put it on my gun, should I be packing more suppressors in case the suppressor explodes? Rigs should have health when you get shot. Like when an explosion happens, it should knock your rig around, and like everything that's in rig should get mixed a bit. Like in general, like there needs to be more interactivity with the player when it comes to their equipment, and I think it plays through durability. There's a Stalker Gamma, if you've ever played it, and Fallout New Vegas. What they do is you can repair items that you've used through specific toolkits, tool sets. Stalker Gamma does its difficulty very uniquely in the sense that you only have access to high tier stuff if you explore the game and loot these repair kits, and use those repair kits to repair high level shit you loot from people, and build new stuff, build new equipment. That is a very interesting, I think, method to doing economy. If you're really not surrounding yourself with the money, the currency is not really what you want. What you want is the tools to transform what you looted into what you want to use. You want to transform that piece of circuitry into night vision goggles. You want to transform those night vision goggles into pieces of circuitry to do something else with it. Stalker Gamma does it super well. It forces exploration. It's a very good observation of how to do survival well. Fallout New Vegas is a way I think the game could implement it right now as early access. Just dirty, quick, easy. Your gun has a set amount of health. There's less damage when you get low health on that weapon. You get more problems shooting it. You get stoppages, failure to feed, stuff like that. And you get that with the durability system. It's a dirty, quick way to at least add a bit of depth to the game. Food and water. I feel like your character doesn't need to be hungry or thirsty all the time, but having him be able to eat, drink with an animation just adds so much more of that character vibe. It's just a little being able to eat. Just being able to eat in the game. Just opening my inventory, double clicking the food, and seeing my guy rip open an MRE bag and going would literally add to this game twice the depth in terms of character interaction that we currently have. How much interaction we have with our character and what they can do. Dying on a run should feel cataclysmic. What you just kitted out yourself to go out with. The magazines that you, again, a lot of what I say is in context of the first video I made, but the magazines you have that you put in your backpack, the suppressors that you put in your backpack, the ammo that you put in your backpack, the health kits, the bandages, stuff, your equipment that you use to survive. If you die because you fucked around and found out, it should feel like a cataclysm. Now when I play this game and I die, I just go, ugh, it's a setback, ugh. I had to go back to my rig, loot everything. You should be punished for what you lost when you started, or what you lost when you were about to extract. So let's say you looted this super cool thing, you died, you won't get that cool thing. It doesn't feel like, in this game, like whenever I die and I had something important on me, it was usually for a quest, and at that point I just feel annoyed. Ugh, I lost it. I died before I could extract with the picture. Ugh, I died before I could extract with the 3 targeting systems of Europa. Finally, in the economy, when it comes to modifications, the fundog needs to drop that looter shooter thing that C is better than A. So module C, scope C, under barrel C is better than barrel A. This is not how you make a video game about survivability, about surviving, about punishing systems That's how you make a looter shooter. And I hope um they're not trying to make Forever Winter into like a Destiny clone or like just another looter shooter like Borderlands. Damage systems, health pools, and calibers. I don't think weapons should be. I think weapons should be just distinguished by calibers and weight and ammunition. Basically, like I feel like Scavenger Girl should be able to start with the NTW 20, and then you punish the player for being stupid. You like basically whack him with a stick, and you go, "Oh, you thought you were funny, huh? Just grabbing the fat ass gun that's like the same length as that character. Cool. Appreciate being unwieldy. Appreciate having no handling on your gun. Appreciate your ammo being half your carry weight. Appreciate your character not wanting to wear like a backpack or a rig because you gave him a gun that's just too big. Appreciate not having a secondary because the time to switch between your primary and secondary is so insane. Forget about having a secondary. Don't treat the player like he needs artificial boundaries. Just give him what he wants and then tell him, in our world, when you are not the appropriate, when you don't have the appropriate capacity to do something and you try to do that thing, you're punished for it. When you try to play stupid, when you try to like fuck around, you found out. Again, like this all plays into like the looter shooter tropes and the extraction shooter. It's I think it's the death of a game that's supposed to feel dangerous. Looter shooters are always a power fantasy. When I play The Division, it's power fantasy. I play Destiny 2, Borderlands, some power fantasy. When a game tells me that this modification will up the damage and lower the recoil, it's power fantasy. It's not a realistic look at how a game or how a gun works, and it's not just about the realism. It's not. It doesn't. We talked about the game feel in the first chapter. The game should feel terrifying. The game should feel scary. Mechanically, it should feel heavy. You should feel like you're cobbling everything, you're cobbling your kit together. Having C and A and B modifications on my gun is not that. It is a complete Far Cry, and it's fucking funny that you try to pass it off as anything else but a placeholder. I guess if this game releases as like with this system of modification of guns, it will be genuinely ridiculous. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it would be ridiculous. I feel like the damage should be segmented. Weak points and calibers. 9mm should do a certain amount of damage. 50 caliber should do a certain amount of damage. Invisible enemies should stop existing. Don't give me a grabber that I can't kill. Just make him super fast and kill me super fast. But if I get a drop on him and I have like the grabber killer 9000, I should be able to kill him. If I'm smarter than the robot and the robot played with me or try to kill me and I killed it, I should be rewarded, not punished. I shouldn't be punished for like wanting to explore the map for more than 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and having to kill people along the way. So some weakness exists. Like your head, if somebody hits me with a 20mm round in the head because I poked my head out in the middle of a firefight, it should one tap me. No more health pools. Boom, one tap me. Done. I learned my lesson. I won't do it again. Fundog does not have to negotiate with players when it comes to difficulty. It's not how difficulty works in games. Dark Souls understands that. Like Elden Ring understands that. Like just the greatest pillars in difficulty making in games understand that you don't negotiate with a player when you make difficulty, and you make them get better. You make them learn and get better at the game. How many players in Forever Winter 500 now? You clearly are not interested in having like a wide audience. You want to have your own specialized audience that really fucks with your art style, really fucks with your game. Don't try to sell off the game as like something wide, easy with just a bunch of health pools. I press 4 to heal. I just press 4 to heal. There's no health menu. There's no limb system. There's no segmentation of damage. It's just I press 4 to heal. because I have 2,000 health points, and every time I prestige, I get 200 points more. I feel like it could work if we get armor with a player. Play it, silence gas mask, and why hugging the wall would be a given. Learn how to play better. Once you spawn in for the first time as mask man, you're like, holy shit, I'm cool as fuck. I got a cool mask. I got a cool coat. Huh, look at that Eurasian cyborg. Oh, he clawed at me with his nails. Didn't do anything. Oh, is that a European guy with a 50 caliber gun? Let me shoot him with my surplus rifle. Of course, and boom, get your head blown out. That would be a more interesting gameplay adventure than the last 30 runs I've had in this game, where I've just been running around with a 50 cal, just killing everything. Because nothing can kill me, because I have 2,000 HP on my mask man, and that's perfectly okay to handle most enemies that shoot at you for a long period of time. In general, you just want to be fair once you play. You don't want to be mean. You don't want to cuss them out. You don't want to make them annoyed. But you want to teach them that you can't just keep on fucking around. Yeah, at one point you gotta find out. Um, and so you need to scare them mechanically, scare them with the damage. If you play Fallout, if you play Starfield, if you play a lot of the RPGs that are shooters, you will find that almost every time some of the most popular mods is I do more damage to the enemies do more damage to me. Because people don't like looter shooters when they are, not difficult, when they're just health bars. Fundog had any experience, or I don't wanna insult Fundog repeatedly. I don't wanna be capricious and like that. I don't be like that, but Fundog played their game, or Fundog understood what makes a game good, what makes an extraction shooter good. They know that what makes a game like Hunt Showdown good is that there's two situations. Either I was super smart and I got a drop on another player and I one shot at them, and my smartness, me being in that good position, me using that caliber, me using that special type of ammunition, me knowing that this is a position that people spawn in, or not spawn in, but go through, gets me that kill, that one shot kill, and the guy doesn't have a crazy health pool that'll let him tank the kill, tank the shot. Rewards me. It's rewarding. I learned the game. I'm rewarded. And on the other hand, when I'm in a 1v1 and the fight's been going on for 10 minutes and the whole server passed around us because they didn't want to end in a fight, and we've been trying to we both know we can't just leave because the other one's gonna go chasing after them, and that sort of fear that you don't want to die, you don't want to lose everything. Hunt Showdown does it well as well. The difficulty is there in it only takes one shot for you to kill him, and it only takes one shot for him to kill me. And that fear, that stress mechanically doesn't exist in the game. There's no damage system. It's all health pools. Calibers don't matter. Guns don't matter. Grab the biggest magazine and loot is what the game tells you. And it's that. Lit packs, chest packs, backpacks, leg packs. Feel like recently one of the big inspirations this game could take is Death Stranding. This game is less about carrying, it's more about loot, which gives existence to the shaman and scav girl. Sometimes you just want to run in there, grab shit, and leave. Sometimes you want to get in there, grab your stuff, be aware of where everybody is, and then leave. That's how shaman does it, and that's how scav girl does it, and that's how shaman does it. Sometimes you just want to carry stuff, so that's where Bagman comes in. Sometimes you want to carry guns, that's where Maskman. So in terms of characters, everybody's got a role to fit in when they come to carry to loot. And I feel like this role could be deepened with more customization in that equipment section. So there should be rigs as the main way to carry. It's like a loose way to carry stuff. You just shove stuff in the bags in your backpack. There could be like rig modules that are like bags that expand when you stuff them, so you can expand more volume, and then boxes that are made for weight, so like smaller items that weigh more or that you don't want damaged, right? So items inside your rig could get damaged. So a bigger rig with more armor might help better. Rigs like you could get thighs and arms, like you see on the Scav Girl model. She has a health pack on her thigh. Maybe you could have a menu where you can grab an item like a health pack and put it around your character. And then when you crouch to access that item, you could go press 3 to heal, and instead of just healing, your character grabs the pack off your thigh and uses it and consumes it and drops it. Segmented damage would limit carry weight, slowing players down. So slowing players down annoys them. I don't like to be slowed down in games. That's just me, but in general, I think most players agree with that. There's definitely other ways to punish them. You take damage like an idiot, the stuff inside your backpack gets damaged. You get damaged in your arm. You get a debuff in how you reload, how you handle stuff, how you move stuff around your backpack. There's plenty of things you can do with the inventory. I'm not a game designer. I just play Tarkov, Hunt Showdown, and plenty of other games with inventories. There's just better ways to do it, and this game just doesn't do it. It just doesn't do anything. This is the problem. It doesn't. It doesn't. There's no inventory. This is not an inventory. This is a black hole. You have a black hole on your back, and you just stuff stuff in your black hole, and then head back to base. There's no. It's a black hole. That's it. I feel like maps also designed for work, avoiding linear map making and set piece oriented gameplay. There should only be one map in this game that looks good. It should be first map to promote player attention. Every other map after that should have focus on being functionally correct, being able to traverse them, being able to enjoy them, and having the depth to explore them. And the beauty will come with that. Beauty comes when I'm 30 minutes into a map and I know that there's a squad here. It's just the beauty comes for like if I get to explore a map and I'm rewarded for exploring it, and I get to see interesting points of interest. I spoke about it earlier. For example, SMS could get like tunnels and bunkers underneath, then not just be the surface, and you've just doubled the size of the map. You just doubled the experience that you're gonna get on the Ashen Mesa, just with like a set of bunkers and tunnels that get you from point A to point B under the desert. The verticality, which is almost non-existent in the first triangle of maps, could be present here and just help this game so much in retention and player retention, who are stuck in that first triangle of map, don't want to explore the other maps because they don't want like spend water, and they watch all these new maps being made, 4 maps in progress, and not a change made in those 3 first maps. Points of interests. People like Fallout 4, even though its gameplay and writing are pretty mediocre. People like walking into an apartment and then seeing like 2 skeletons hugging. That's a cool little lore thing. People like it. It's crazy to me that there's so little stuff like that in the game. There's plenty of like portions of the map where there's on Elephant Mausoleum there's at one point there's giant fields with crosses on them and European bodies, and it's a cool set piece, but it's not a bunker where when I get in there there's like a European guy that blew his brains out. Or maybe there is something like that, and I haven't found it because I haven't bothered to explore the map, because there's no reason for me to explore the map, right? There's no points of interest that keep people like that bring people to explore this map or use those points of interest as like bases, outposts, checkpoints to go to traverse the map. Example: the Ashen Mesa, and the big desert up top had like more points of interest, crashed shit, dilapidated. If you could take cover under a tank, and then you found that there were other bodies below that tank that try to have the same thing, and just stuff like that goes a long way when they're noticeable, they're imposing, and there's enough of them to make a map feel unique and vibrant. I just feel like the maps that we have don't work on those points of interest. They're pretty much empty, in my opinion. Exploration should be demanded by the economy and rewarded by the map. You gotta go through the map to get weapons, to get loot, to get money, to get food. But when I go through Elephant Mausoleum, I should also go like, fuck, this map's cool. Fuck, those trenches really make me feel like I'm in the middle of like a war zone. Hell, this is hell. This is the worst thing that's ever happened in humanity. This game doesn't have the gameplay supporting the maps, and the maps do look good, but they cannot carry a game on their own. Finished maps are not finished, in my opinion. There's the first map is ridiculously small. You have the centerpiece, and that's it. There's no depth to it. The past the extraction tube, if you know what I mean. There's nothing. It's like a flat plane. Just there's barely anything. Or if there's anything, like I would just it's so flat and open that I got killed before I got managed to explore there. Uh there's another section on the right of the base. There's like the big rocks where the Yodis usually spawn, or they used to spawn. Oh, this is a big spawn point. Um, there's nothing there. That's fucking the map's empty, and it goes like that for every single map that I've played. They're pretty much like I'm the explorer. Like I don't have any reason to explore them to loot stuff in them apart from completing quests that I feel like I have to do because they're there. And when I am exploring those maps, those points of interest, at least in the first few maps, are so few and far between. That the player retention is gonna suffer through it. I think my favorite part in this game is when I played Scrapyard Nexus. So I think Mac Trenches for the first time, and there's the place where they turned corpses into food, and I went there with a buddy and we are exploring. It was so cool. I didn't get that kind of stuff. That point of interest, fun, that rewarding. I'm here because I need to get my money and because there's cool shit on those three starter maps, like I did on Scrapyard Nexus. And honestly, I haven't even bothered to play the new maps that much because I just don't want to. I just don't feel like it. It just nothing's pushing me to do it. There's quests there, but I'd rather not just lose the attachments I have on my gun dying because I don't know the map, and nothing's pushing me really to get there. Um, Base building, scavs, roleplay, water and food, passive income. The passive income could be made from scav looters and raiders that you could hire. Kind of like how you make water passively now if you buy the water bots. You could lose water and food as a sort of like cost for having scav looters. And in turn, or like it could be like a benefit to you. Like they could ask for benefits. They could ask for more water, more food. Just interaction. That's all I'm asking for. Just interact with your base. Lord House is an example of good world building, but mediocre implementation. Fine, 500 cigarettes for the guy. What are we doing here? Like, sometimes I want to roleplay in a certain way. My friend wants to roleplay another way. Um, this game does not promote any type of roleplay. The base is not there for you to make it your base. Everybody has a base, but nobody's base is unique. Everybody gets the same base, and the only difference in bases is who spent the most time grinding in the game. Being cozy in your game, in your base, there's only I think three things I can think of that make the base look any cooler. Dog den, altar, and the TV screens. You get no like anything else to interact with. Your base is otherwise empty. If you can't interact with the NPCs there, the base is done for. It's already empty. But I think like a computer that you can play with, a workbench that you can mess about with, anything that shows that the devs care about not just drawing, but making a video game. Aesthetics and customization. How to feel attached to someone who doesn't look like you. In general, people like to make themselves in video games and make people they care about. The scav is us in the game. How would I look if I was in this game then? I'd give myself, get a cool looking equipment, clothes. I feel like there's a way to marry looking good and being useful. adding pouches, adding backpacks, adding customization options through equipment makes you look cooler, makes you look more interesting, marries you to that character. I don't want to play a Bagman because his arms are lanky and he's tall as shit and it makes him look weird. But if tomorrow there's a new system that lets Bagman put on like a heavy vest, heavy combat vest, like you can choose where to put different equipment on him, shoulder pads and stuff you looted off your Ruskin soldiers, and put a helmet on him, or maybe like put a night vision pair of night vision goggles on him, or like a cool like respirator that only covers his jaw, like leaves his fucked up eyes out. Customization doesn't just make you attached to the scav in the sense that, oh, I don't want to. You don't want to lose that scav anymore. When they do die, it hits you even harder, and it's not just about at that point. It's not about making you in the game. It's about making what kind of scav your base would have. If my base is about pro European mercenaries, my scavs would be kitted out in European equipment. Euroscan, same thing. Eurasian, same thing. So then you deepen the roleplay. People love playing Barbie. Women love The Sims. Men love Armor 3 Arsenal. I'm making a joke out of this, but if you've ever seen a dude play Armor 3, they'll spend hours just playing around with what they look like. And I feel like this game, by giving you skins instead of like a customizable equipment system, does itself a great disservice in the sense that people that could be spending hours just making themselves how they want to be, and then going in there, dying and learning, shit, I better learn the game before I die like an idiot like this and lose all my equipment. I feel like it's a missed out opportunity. I feel like Scav Girl is like the best worst thing to have ever happened in the game. It shows like that when you look cool, when you have that equipment on you, those pouches, that skin like skin suit, that looks like a wetsuit that this like cobbled together for you to survive in, promotes like stepping like me. I'm a Maskman player. I explained it. I like playing Maskman, but I play Scav Girl because I like the way her equipment looks. Because I think she looks like a runner in the apocalypse. I don't get that vibe from anything else because the other characters that don't have skins, I can't customize to look better, to look cooler, right? So customization is an important part to getting people out of their comfort zone, trying out new characters. If I can't make a guy look cool, I'm not gonna play him. If I can get a shaman to fit a different playstyle that I kind of want him to get, or like not to have like, if I wanted him like, sometimes I want to play shaman purely because he's drippy as fuck, but I don't like the fact that he doesn't have heavy rifles. This is he plays with the gameplay. There's no depth. There's no customization in how you play the game, how you play the characters. Consequence. Every character feels pretty damn bland, unless you purchase the cool skin for it, which sucks. Scav Girl doesn't look cool with any rig unless you purchase the skin for it. Scav Girl without the skin is fits in the world, but looks so ridiculously out of place compared to the rest of the cast that it's remarkable that they actually decided to sell the skin. It's to me, it's the worst thing that happened in the game because it highlights how Fundog cannot settle on any gameplay customization depth that might make people want to play anything else than what looks different and cool. It's depressing. That's all it is to me. It's fun on the technical side, bug fixes, animations, general performance. If you can't change the performance any better, add options, give more options for the players. Let them change, let them tweak more. Add FSR for players. This is only like one slide in this video, only one PowerPoint slide, but I think it's one of the most important. It's insane to me that it took up until June last June, to get an update where most people were content, not satisfied, not happy, content with the way the game functioned. If you don't have that, I'm gonna get in that fundog criticism later. It's insane to me that it took that long for the base game that hasn't had that much content added on top of it apart from new maps to get satisfying FPSs on the first three maps. It's insane. And I think it displays the lack of direction the devs have in terms for the gameplay, for the experience itself. This is gonna be slightly more about criticizing Fundog. I'm not a game developer. I'm not gonna say it's easy to make games, but I'm not gonna stand around and let people tell me like, oh, well, if you don't make a game, you can't talk about making video games. If you don't have that many hours, you can't talk about it. This game, it's necessary to look at how Fundog has developed this game, not just for because I spent 30 hours on the game, so I deserve the game like the developers deserve to listen to me. I deserve the. What I'm saying is that Fundog is a sort of anomaly in a game making industry. Like they said, they do a game that's more about the art style than it is about loot boxes or monetization. It's about expressing itself and making you discover a unique world that you wouldn't have access if this game was if this dev team was like Ubisoft, if it was an EA, Blizzard. The devs owe it to themselves to make this game work and prove to the like gaming industry that it's not always about the loot boxes or the monetization, but you can make a good game with a relatively small team that has the visual fidelity of like a Unity 5 title, runs as best as it can, looks as artistically like interesting and unique as it does, and have gameplay depth without sacrificing respect to the employee artistic output on the of the employees without minimizing the employee as an ent, part of a bigger corporation. Fundag owes it to them and to other people in the industry to make the best they can, because whether they want it or not, their game is most likely being looked at by executives, board members, and companies. And if they see a game succeed like this, they see this game succeed, they'll go, our artists need more time. Our artists need more money, more investment. We need to prioritize the people who make our games unique. People buy and play this game and buy the skins in this game, buy the unique parts of this game because these guys have made a good game, even though there's not a lot of them. And Fundog, which has given us four maps that are all in progress of being made, new enemies, commanders, bosses, and killable enemies, new zones, shows a lack of comprehension when it comes to making a video game. People liked Five Nights at Freddy's not because it was a bunch of animatronics that were scary. This is the fun part. It's a unique part. It's the art, like the art of it, and the scary part of it has made it a incredible legacy. You want to know why people played it and streamed it and made theories about? Because when you hopped on the game and you opened the cameras and you listened to the phone call, it was fun. It was interactive. It was settled. It was deep, even though it was a quick and easy and pretty cheap game made by one dev. The gameplay supported the story. The gameplays, Five Nights at Freddy's would not be half as popular without oh, your battery ran out, the door's open, and Freddy's like standing at the doorway. The Forever Winter cannot succeed as a game. Fundog cannot succeed as a game developing company or organization or as a small group. They can't hope to make it out into having a career out of this, having their own independent careers, if they don't fix these problems now and get this game a good gameplay foundation. Like, early access means you owe something to the players. Early access means The players have decided to give you $70, even though you haven't put in the entire like timeline of work. You didn't release this game because people wanted you to release it. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, how to put it in better words. When you released this game, you didn't go, "Oh, these people are like gonna get this game. They're gonna adore it because they saw how this game looks. They saw the art style. They want to have this video game. They want to play it. They're gonna enjoy it." A part of it, I'm sure a big reason why releasing it was financial. It has to be part of it. There's no other reason. I don't believe that fundog would have managed at this point in time to do as much if they didn't have the monetary gain out of selling this game at a full $70 to people, or $70 Canadian. You can't make a career out of a free game. You gotta make money. You can't just have your main job and then have a career on. Nobody's that good, and the dev team is not big enough to have it so. So you release this game in early access, sure, because people thought it looked cool, but you sell it at a full price with a demo for people to enjoy it and then buy it at full price for us to get, I assume, a full price experience. But I see new maps, new enemies, new zones released since the start of the game, and no meaningful change in how the gameplay operates in terms of the economy. It displays to me that Fundog has no connection with the community. I'm sorry. It's funny to say because they have a community manager who works very well. They had I don't remember the last time they had those Q&A videos where they answered like questions. They have on their Discord. They have a Discord channel where you ask questions, and those questions get upvotes. On Reddit, but when people tell you, we don't like the hunter killers being unkillable, it's a symptom of a bigger problem, and that bigger problem is you found a stopgap solution to a gameplay that fundamentally like doesn't exist. As a 30 people dev team that have released a game on early access, you either expand the team now that you sold the game and have made the money, you either hire people so that you can match the expectation of a full price game, or at least of the experience that you promised, or you limit player expectations. You don't say you're gonna live in a world where you exist within it, like you loot within it, when all I can loot is like an asset store MRE bag or asset store M4 gun. You don't pick something from both sides. I want a bit of a big. I want a bit of the benefits of having a big team. So like an open world, well, a big map and customization and cool skins and a whole lot of visual fidelity and art style, and then pick a bit of like just, oh, I want a bit of gameplay. Like you can't. It's not a good trade off. You need a game. If you're gonna make a game, you need a game. To do that, you need to either expand your team so that it's not just one guy. Again, it's a rumor, but I heard that it was just one guy doing the animations, and I can see it when I look at this game. I can see that it's just one guy doing the animations. Okay, open this game, play it right now. Hop on Gunhead, you'll see it. It is just one guy doing the animations. Either you hire more people on the technical side, so this game actually like can finally have a team that sits down with an Excel spreadsheet and go, okay, we're part of Fundog, we're part of this enterprise. A portion of Fundog likes to do the art style. We'll set up the gameplay that'll support the art style. That'll support the experience. Either they do that, or don't make a video game. Limit your reach. Make a movie. You guys look clearly experienced in Blender. Forever Winter could have been a movie about like a cast of characters trying to survive the apocalypse. if you're not gonna make an actual video game as an art form, make a movie, and just don't bother selling me the game for $70. And almost a year into development, the gameplay just hasn't changed. Not one gun, not one anything. Just don't bother. Um, just make an art book. Video games are an art form because of the interactivity. People love video games because you get to live in them. You get to experience them. It's what makes it an art form. It's the yeah, pictures, pictures and art. The painted art lets you see things from an artist's point of view. You know, movies lets you experience themes and emotions of a predetermined story from point A to point B. It's determined. It's without your input. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. That's what happened in operas and plays. That's what it's about. This point A to point B. It's a story. It's linear. It's gonna happen whether you want it or not. The video games happen, and the art form is interactivity. It's existence. It's choice within the world. You choose what you want to do, and you have an impact on the game. Or else video games wouldn't exist. When you play Doom 64, Doom 64, not Doom. When you play the old Doom and you left click and you kill a monster, and then monster explodes in a mess of gore. That's interactivity. That's what makes a difference between Doom and the Doom movie. The Doom movie, I'm watching a guy blow someone's bread off. In the Doom game, I'm doing it blowing. Weird phrasing, but you get what I mean. If you wanted to make a movie or an art book, go do that. If you want to make a video game and be serious about making a video game and sell it to me for $70, the promise that you'll get it working as a video game, and as a full release, show that you want to do that. Hire more people that do that technical side. 30-minute videos on why Europe's art style is inspired from modern MIC, M-I-C-H, I forgot, MIC helmets mixed with integral gun and the helmet. That's not gonna save the game. The art style being like the European art style being industrialist, American, techno, like whatever. Cool. I just spent 30 hours in a game where the prices don't change even if I sell you 1,600 times the same thing. Where I can't sell water for money. Where I can't talk to the NPCs. Where the only people I interact with are the people I kill, or the quest givers who I don't really talk to. They just give me quests and they talk to me when I finish them. And Lordas, who I give cigarettes to. There's no depth to the game whatsoever. The guns are asset store, not flips. This isn't an asset store flip. This is, you bought it from an asset store and you put it in the game. And that's how you get all them cheap modifications. That's where there's 24 modifications per gun. They're all the same and they're all shared by every gun. So all you did was grab the model that was pre-made and you put it on the gun. Or maybe if you got the one guy who, bless his soul, made 30 guns and decided to make them all look fucking modern for some reason. I don't know. Maybe you should go have a talk with that guy. Video essays on the art style won't save the game. If you only have 500 from what I remember, it was 500 daily players on a game like this that has this much potential, this much interactivity, with players. You can play co-op, you can play with your friends. The fact that daily it only has 500 players, video essays can't keep your game going for as long as that. And in that sense, the more you focus on the game being more of an art book than a video game, and you put stopgap measures in the way the game operates, so like the drones, to figure out what's going on the map, without fixing the base problems this game has, will lead you to erode goodwill with the players. You'll lose it, and eventually, like you go on right now into the game's Steam page, look at the reviews, look at the community pages and what people are saying. A lot of people are annoyed that there's 4 maps and progress and no new fucking guns and no performance fixes. Conclusion: I wouldn't have made this if I didn't like the game or fundog or the world they made. I think this is barely a scratch at how devoid of content most of the game is, and how frustrating it is that a game development company advertises themselves as making a game when all this is slightly more interactive movie. It's an art form. Interactivity is part of it. Ignoring it is just making a movie. So again, don't bother me if you're just gonna make a movie. Quit the game making business. All 30 of you just draw something, and then hop on Blender, hire a writer, and make a movie, and just get done with it. There's no need to ask me for $70, and then 12 additional bucks on skins, and then release 3 unfinished maps that are all like run poorly, all have bugs, and then not work on the initial maps, not work on the initial gameplay, not have any sense of base gameplay. This game, that everybody should just listen to guys that don't play a lot of it. They'll explain to you why the game kind of sucks for them, and I think a lot of them, their biggest pet peeves is like there's just not enough game for the game. Uh, I might make a Discord server for this YouTube channel if I get more than 50 views on this follow up. Possible future videos if there's aspects that I want to go more in depth into, more complaints I have, maybe stuff that I agree with or like. This ended a little sadder than I wanted it to be. I'm annoyed and frustrated at fundog for having this chance that other devs don't have, that other devs cry out to have. When 9,000 Xbox devs get fired and aren't sure if they get to work on any new projects, and you guys have a dev team and you have financial support because people bought your $70 game and bought you $12 skins, you owe it to those devs who don't have that chance, who don't have the player base that you've made, who don't have Rilo making a video essay on your art style to get you more sales. You owe it to those people, not just your players, to make a good game. So just fix yourselves, guys. Just we can do better. I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't think fundog could be better. Could be better than Tarkov, could be better than Hunt Showdown, could be better than most games. I wouldn't make this video if I didn't think they weren't innovative and smart. Thank you for watching this last part. There's gonna be a lot of cuts in the start. But at the end I think I figured it out, and a whole 1 hour and 30 minutes without cutting. Thank you very much.